performance wasn't as good as that one episode. And still, poor Requiem, no one has seen it. By the way, Requiem was so good that it was remade once as a TV show and once as a feature film. So, pretty astounding for poor Requiem, but again, almost no one has ever seen the original. If you get a chance and you're watching YouTube one day, look it up. Anyway, if you wanted to watch this exact episode, they weren't very clever with the names back in the 50s, by the way. Lucy meets Orson Welles. So again, not quite the Game of Thrones names we have now and all that kind of stuff, but still, it was kind of a fun way to do it. Anyway, the whole series, especially for those of you, again, watching TV in LA and all that kind of stuff, you'll notice not only is I Love Lucy on a lot, it's on multiple networks at the same time. It's on KTTV, it's on KCLB, all that kind of stuff. So it's on nearly perpetually. Of the 220 markets in this country, it's on nearly year-round in 100 of those markets. All because, again, the quality was there. And of course, it wasn't long before the other networks and other shows and things like that started adopting it, and then the Kinescope thankfully went away forever, and now images look fantastic. But that's been a big thing for people for a long time. Trying to go from the early days of TV that were just black and white to color, then going from color and all that kind of stuff to the world of digital, then going from digital to high def and all that sort of thing. And now our goal is to try and get people behind the idea of what 4K is, the logical successor to the world of HD. Yes, sir.
So are the owners of Lucy's Foundation or whatever it is, are they still getting residuals?
That's a great question. I'm not sure who's all getting residuals from that. I think CBS still has some ownership stake in it, but I don't know who exactly is getting all the residuals from I Love Lucy, although they're obviously going somewhere. I believe some time ago someone bought the entire library, and that company's now sucking it all up. But to be honest, I don't know exactly every detail.
Pre-74, so no residuals.
Oh, so there is a...
That's why things like that and Brady Bunch and all of that get rerun constantly, but
They don't have to pay
newer
anybody.
shows don't.
so prior to 74 was the point.
Wow.
Although, of course, there's tons of reruns today. You can't turn on USA or A&E, all that kind of stuff without seeing reruns of Law and Order and countless shows and things like that. So syndication is still a big thing. And in fact, syndication is the reason that TV essentially is made. You might know that when you make any given episode, for example, The Blacklist. Have you watched The Blacklist? All that stuff's a big NBC show. Of course, it's produced by Sony Pictures. NBC pays us a certain amount of money to air an episode. They temporarily rent an episode, if you will. Sony Pictures retains ownership, as almost always is the case when someone produces it, but NBC rents that episode from us. The money that NBC gives us for a given episode is actually less than it costs us to produce that episode. So you can certainly make the argument, prior to syndication, we're actually losing money. Any production company is basically losing money for every single episode that goes along, because you don't get as much money from the network or whatever distribution medium as it costs to produce it. The only way you're going to make your money back is through syndication. So once it achieves, or I'll say, builds up enough of an episode bank, typically the rule used to be 100 episodes, but that's not really true anymore, you can now sell that to, again, different sources. In our case, because the quality was there, we produced in 4K and that sort of thing, we sold it to Netflix just episodes into its first season. And, again, the idea that it can now be sold overseas, different networks, different places, that sort of thing. So the money that comes from the television production world comes from syndication. Okay, the profit that you make. So that's what it is. Just as a fun little side note, anybody happen to know how much Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld each made when Seinfeld was sold into syndication? About $200 million each. And it was a 9-year run. So pretty astounding. $200 million each. Not a bad little payday for basically showing up and doing acting for 9 years and all that stuff. So, yeah, syndication is where the money's at. That's why it's so important that the quality with which you record programs is able to hold up years after it starts production. And again, you're trying to sell it. We at Sony Pictures, again, have gone out and tried to sell things and said, hey, there's a show called Drop Dead Diva. You may ever see Drop Dead Diva and all that kind of stuff. Fun show and all that. The first few seasons, in fact, all but the last season, were done in HD because that was the convention of the day and all that kind of stuff. To some extent, it's still the convention of the day. But the last one, we switched over to 4K cameras. And because we were making 4K cameras that were available, all that kind of stuff, and sure enough, we go into the syndicated market all around the world and said, hey, here's Drop Dead Diva, and be like, oh, I can't wait to show it on my channel in whatever state, city, country, whatever it happened to be, and all that stuff. Like, all right, so here's the deal. The first bunch of episodes are HD, and the last one's 4K. Yeah, so that's just the way it kind of worked out. And we kind of pitched the idea that the first ones are all right, and the last one, well, it's kind of a little different, so don't worry about that, and all this stuff. The quality's good, it's just kind of different, so don't worry. but the way we were received by going to these different places was, the last season is 4K, yay! The first ones suck because they're only HD. And so that was quite a shock to us at the time. Like, whoa, we thought it would be the reverse.